Hey guys, I'm making another video because the Independent just came out with like a really interesting article. Uh, Biden's first day, he's just inaugurated. Like, hello, I'm the president. Let's go do some work. 17 presidential orders, which while it definitely shows that the uh, Democrats are better than the Republicans, it shows you exactly how like fucking barbaric we're talking here. Like, the Trump administration was goddamn barbaric. And like there's some really like Mr. Biden has the US formally rejoin the World Health Organization. Imagine claiming you're a first world nation, right? Imagine claiming that you're a superpower on the world stage and not being a part of the World Health Organization in the middle of a pandemic. Imagine asking for the world to take you seriously as a trading partner, as a force on the world stage, and you're not a part of the World Health Organization. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, we're getting rid of the Muslim ban, right? Fucking barbarians. Like, a lot of this, stopping, like, rejoining the Paris Climate Accords, stopping the Keystone pipeline. Here you go, like right away. Like Biden is like going bam, 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 and not like, but and this is the thing. This is the thing that I think is so important. Um, Biden's literally getting us back to zero, right? Like I guess when we're talking about back to normal, we're talking about like not completely batshit suicidal, right? It does give me a bit of relief that like, oh hey, there's a government in power now who's not actually just straight out full bore heading to total destruction. Right? Isn't that nice? Isn't that interesting? Like right away, day one. What was my favorite? The income inequality thing was they're just halting evictions, right, until March 31st. Still way not enough. Still way not enough. Like the amount of homeless that live in America, the amount of poverty that exists in America now. America has like 6 houses for every homeless person. They could fix this problem. No, lickety split. But like, just nobody getting evicted in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah, that's a step forward in the right direction. Certainly. Halting construction of the wall, right? Like of the Mexico wall. Like, come on, what's this all about? Um yeah, it's just a laundry list of like totally reasonable shit. Like this is the thing that was so crazy about the Trump years, right? I just recently watched a great video that I highly recommend to all of you that you should definitely go and watch. Um, it's some news guy or some more news, right? Cody Johnson on YouTube. His newest one is literally just him going through the Trump administration and just being like, oh, hey, here's all the crimes that the Trump administration did. I wish he would do another one for all the crazy batshit legislation that they tried to pull off and like like the insane tax breaks, the insane kind of stuff. And if this is what's going to come out of the Biden administration, then great. Honestly, like I said in my very last video, like Biden's got to do things or to help the populace, or else there's going to be a much worse fascist leader come out of the Republican Party. But here's the Independent reporting like some really good shit. Like really good shit straight out the gate, right? But it's like really good shit that just takes like literal barbarians who are trying to destroy one another to like just being kind of stable as like a far right authoritarian conservative regime, right? And none of this stuff is like, there's no Medicare here for anybody, right? There's no, like, America is still far behind literally everybody else on the world stage. Like, this is what I'm trying to stress so hard with the Biden administration. Like, all this stuff is good. Shutting down the Keystone Pipeline is good. shutting down, not evicting people is good, but this puts them like well behind most of the rest of the world. Most of the rest of the world offers healthcare for all, right? Most of the rest of the world is uh, uh, doing more to protect its workers, offering better supports, right? My critique of Justin Trudeau's administration is that he's not doing enough, right? That he could have very easily passed a basic income, and he should have passed a basic income, and he basically did with the CERB, and then has done everything he can to retract it and to mess it around and to ensure that it's confusing, right? That's the thing about just like these support systems. Like my company, the company I work with, is trying to interact with these support systems, and they're confused. There's just confusion about what people are supposed to do and what supports they're trying to get and all of this kind of stuff. And it's just more and more obvious that like Trudeau doesn't want you to get those supports. And if you do get the supports, he wants to make sure you check a bunch of boxes, and he wants to make sure that you fill out a bunch of paperwork, and then you really, really do need this help. So it's more means tested nonsense. So he's willing to pay for administrators to go through the paperwork to make sure that you can get the benefits instead of just taking that money and giving it to you. Meanwhile, he's handing like 3 times the amount that a basic income would cost just to billionaire buddies through a wage subsidy, right? And that's the kind of stuff I'm expecting to see start happening with the Biden administration. Like, of course, the Democrats are going to put their best foot forward, right? Of course, they're going to come in and be like, we did this, we did that, we did this, like on the first day, right? They're going to come out strong. They don't want to immediately come out and be like, tax break for corporations, right? That's going to come later. That's going to be more of a stealthy thing. They're going to try to do that when people are distracted by some other thing, right? They're not going to do that while all eyes are on Biden to see what kind of tone that he's setting. And that's really at the end of the day what this is all what this is, what all of this is. It's setting a tone, right? It's so that a certain segment of the populace can see it and go, "Oh, good. Biden is going to do good things." And no argument from me. These are good things. These are all good things. It's a laundry list of good things. But my heart tells me that Biden is just going to do good things right at the start so that everyone will turn off again, like we did with Obama, right? And move along our lives and pretend as though everything's totally fine. And then, here comes Donald Trump. Everything is not totally fine. And everything's not totally fine, right? Nothing here actually addresses the central issue that is facing Trump supporters, right? The central issue that's facing Trump supporters is that they live in desperation and they have no futures. Like, they have no jobs. They've got no ability to create a stable life for themselves. That's the beating heart of the Trump movement, without a doubt. And there's nothing here to stop, like, that really alleviates that. I mean, eviction moratorium until March. But, like, what if the populace has moved on and is not really paying attention to Biden anymore because, dopey old Joe, right? Dopey old Joe, he'll he's doing good things. Sure, he says a weird thing every so often, but he's a good guy, right? I got to make sure I get to work on time, right? That's back to normal. Stop paying attention to our leadership, like we stopped paying attention to Obama because Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize, and we're like, he's the savior of America. He's gonna be the greatest president ever, right? Yeah, because he did a whole drone strike campaign that's still going on and expanded the wars overseas from 2 to 7. Opened up fracking. Don't forget about that. The Biden administration shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, like, this is like the biggest no-brainer of life, right? Like, but that just gets into, I just feel like point for point I could just tell you, like, look, yeah, like, it looks good, but like the Keystone Pipeline is a great example. Like, that pipeline's not going to make money, right? Because it's going to cost them more oil to actually build it and then to extract the oil than they'll get back. Or at least it'll be like so little that it's just not going to matter that much. Like, we are like cresting peak oil, like we are going over peak oil, and so just and I feel like I could go down this laundry list and be like, I'm skeptical because of this. I'm skeptical of the moratoriums on evictions because it only goes till March, right? What happens when March rolls around? We're all not going to be paying attention. We'll be paying attention to like the new Beyonce album or something like that, right? We'll be trying to look at something fun. I'm so tired of politics, and like Biden will just be like, okay, cool, move forward with those evictions, please. You know, that's how people on the left of Republicans, like, that's, I don't want to say liberal because like Biden isn't a liberal. Biden is a conservative. Like he's a totally a conservative, and he is not that interested. And you just look at his voting record to see how true this is. He's not that interested in helping poor people. He's not that interested in creating stability for the lesser thans in the society, right? He's not that interested in that. And he's more interested in looking good, right? And that's what Democrats are really good at. Democrats are really good at looking good. And the reality for these Democrats is to look good right now, they have to actually do something. They have to actually do some stuff. And they are, and I have to admit it. There it is, right? The end of the Keystone Pipeline is a big deal. The rejoining of the Paris Accord is a big deal. We do need America on the world stage to be operating, like just to be operating, as if climate change is real. As if climate change is real, right? So immediately, like, Noam Chomsky's prediction is like instantly correct. That like the Democrats are better than the Republicans strictly because they believe the climate change is real and they seek to do something about it. And so here it is, right? How serious that is going to be is yet to be seen, right? Like, ending the Keystone Pipeline is not a small deal, and big problem for Jason Kenney, right? Big problem for Jason Kenney. That this is the end of him for sure. This Biden election and the finishing of that Keystone Pipeline, that's the end of Jason Kenney. It's going to be an NDP, like the next time an election comes through, an NDP government is going to go in, and an NDP government is going to run Alberta, and the Conservative Party will break into the will break apart, and the far right element will become the Wild Rose Party, right? This is a very exciting moment. It is actually a very exciting moment because, like, the Trump administration was insane. The Republicans, the Republicans were insane, just power mad, climate change denying, absolutely unable to govern and unwilling to govern, and Biden sort of slam dunks it and really shows that this is the truth. I remain forever skeptical, as I remain skeptical of our own left, centrist and conservative parties. That would be the Liberals, by the way, and the NDP, by the way. We don't really have a leftist party here in Canada, not really. Our conservatives are so far to the right that you can't even really call them conservatives any longer. But you know what? Little silver lining here. So I think it's worth talking about. End of the Keystone Pipeline, end of evictions, and all that kind of stuff. It's worth mentioning. It's worth talking about. It's worth giving a little ping up. Because any good news right now, eh? Any good news right now counts. And that's why I had to do a video right now when I saw this article. It's just like, any good news. Any good news. Okay, guys. I hope you're all doing well. I love you all. You're doing great. Whatever you're doing in your life, you're doing great, and I'm sure of it. Yeah, good luck. We're going to need it.